Welcome to Where Does Food, the food history podcast where two bundles of yeasted deep-fried dough talk to you about food history. I'm your mom's favorite podcaster, Tim Wehunt, and with me is your mom's co-favorite podcaster,
El Chapo. What's up? I'm El.
El, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling like the sugar deep-fried dough today, Tim. How about you?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling like Boston cream.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm feeling like a Boston cream, mainly because my old coach visited me last night. How do you like donuts, El? That's what, if you haven't caught on, we're talking about donuts. How do you like donuts, El?
How do I like donuts?
Yeah. How do you like them?
Do
you like them?
How do I not like donuts, Tim? You talking about, original glaze? You want to talk about chocolate covered, sprinkle covered? You want to talk about filling? You want to talk about Boston cream, custard, frosting? I'm here for it. I love it. As I've gotten older now, I'm like, do I like the more cakey donuts, or do I just like the, I say a cakey donut, but like you think of like a Krispy Kreme.
Yeah,
donut, a smaller.
Yeah, you're talking like the yeasted fried
the yeasted
donut,
fried dough. So
not the cake donut.
I don't know. I think it kind of depends on what
you don't know.
But I love donuts. I will eat all the donuts. So that's my.
I know for a fact I do not prefer cake donuts, even though there are good ones. I don't think they're like bad intrinsically, but I know for a fact I don't prefer cake. Like I would rather have
the donut,
like a traditional like ring donut, or any sort of stuffed is always really good. So we actually live in donuts have been on the rise.
Literally,
we actually live in a pretty fucking poppin' place for donuts.
Yeah.
Not only where the specific city we're at in Tennessee, but our neighboring city, Nashville. They like both spots have fucking awesome donut shops. What's your favorite that you've had in recent time? Obviously, I don't know how much you eat donuts. I mean, we're both semi-health conscious people, so we don't exactly go out of our way to eat a lot of donuts.
That's fair.
But I have one in mind that I had recently, and I'm just wondering if you've had a donut in recent, or if you had a donut shop that you really like around the area.
Dude, I know. Now I'm like, you put me on the spot. I'm trying to remember. There was this.
Don't blank.
I'm like, there was this place. I know. I'm trying not to Google. No, there was this place, but I can't remember what it was called. But it had like a almost like a chocolate turtle donut with like a pretzel thing on top and some little caramel drizzle. But it was a chocolate chocolate covered. Yeah. No, it was really good. But I can't tell you the name, but I've had
Was it in Nash, or was it?
I think it was in Nashville. It was in Nashville.
In the Nash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here in Murfreesboro, I was literally just thinking about Donut Country.
Donut Country.
I was thinking about it yesterday.
If you don't say Donut Country, I'm gonna fight the fuck out of you.
Well, I was about to be like Country Donut, and I was like, no.
Yeah, no, Donut Country.
Donut Country.
Yeah.
It's
Donut Country's serious, bro.
So good.
Serious. 5 Daughters, which I believe has more locations than just Nashville.
I think that's where I had that nice
But dude, 5 Daughters, we got a batch of their cronuts, and they fucking they fill their cronuts, dude. Like, I am not kidding you. I ate like 4 of those motherfuckers one day. Each one being like 600 calories, 2,000 grams of fat.
It's fine.
And I was having a great miserable.
Time. No.
But I swear to you, those fucking donuts were out of this world good. I mean, I was on a fucking different planet. I was gone. I was like on Jupiter, being compressed by the gravity. I was like, it was.
What an
I know I sound
experiment.
dramatic.
No, I mean,
but I had I left my body, and I don't even believe in that shit. I left my body, and I watched myself.
Come on.
Enjoy something so divine.
Wow.
Yeah, like
that's it. I like that description a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it was incredible. However, I don't typically go for them. This is gonna sound like fucking basic bitch time with Tim. My absolute go-to when it comes to a donut, the thing I crave in my sleep, I roll around at night and have donut sweats, is the original glazed Krispy Kreme fresh hot fresh off of that hot
sign is on,
thing
Tim.
that they have.
Oh my
when you
goodness,
when you fucking whip into the parking lot. I work right across the street from that Krispy Kreme, by the way. So in the morning, I smell it every morning. Every morning,
Golly, how tempting. Incredible.
But you whip into that bitch and you fucking just take it right off the line and you put it into your face and it just melts.
It's an experience.
Just melts.
Honestly, I feel like that's like a rite of passage thing to do. Like you're just like driving, minding your business, and then you see that hot sign on, and you're like, that's it. There's no questioning. Yes. You're gonna do it. You're gonna go for it. It's literally a green light. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm telling you this right now. If you have not ever experienced the fresh off the line Krispy Kreme,
good goodness,
you have to. You have to. I'm talking to you, listener.
You don't have to wear the hat, but you at least need to go try that donut, man.
In terms of donuts, whenever it's not fresh or they're specialty donuts, like Krispy Kreme is solid. Like they're really good. You know, they're smaller donuts, which I appreciate, but that fresh off the line it's such an experience when it comes to donuts, just in general. Because to me in my brain, I've bifurcated like what the different donut experience is for me, and I think when you go specialty, you're expecting it not to be hot. Because it's a specialty donut. You know what I mean? You're not getting that right off the
most of the time you're not
belt.
Most of the time you're not getting hot donuts like that anyways.
Yeah. And so it's just like the fact that you can from Krispy Kreme, it just makes their original glaze just stand out.
Just hit.
You know what I mean?
No, that's true.
It's just, but yeah, like I said, like there are other donuts that I've had where I'm just like, holy shit, this is an incredible specialty donut that will blow the specialty donuts that Krispy Kreme could ever offer out the water. But that fresh one, that's the money shot.
It's undefeated. I agree with that.
So L, on a scale from 1 to 11,300 Dunkin' Donut restaurants, where do you rank donuts?
Oh my goodness. There's not going to be much room to go here. I'm going to go like 10,000 out of 11,300. Yeah, we're giving a solid 10. Yeah, a solid 10.
We like donuts. Here we go.
We like donuts. We don't care who knows.
All right, let's take a break, clear our throats, pay the bills, talk to our counselors, and we'll be right back.
Bing.
Here is my place. It's a Holy Moly Donut Shop, huh? Say to me, guys, Holy Moly Donut Shop.
Holy Moly Donut Shop.
Let's start with the etymology of donuts.
Oh.
Everyone's favorite thing to do is the etymology. I think Ellen and I both really actually do like this segment the most.
Yeah, it is enjoyable.
Out of all of them, like Science Times and all the stuff that we do, I think etymology is our favorite. When we get a good
so much
one,
info.
It's like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
All right. So donut, the OUGH version, was first used in 1808 in a short story describing a table of fire cakes and donuts. So I looked up what a fire cake was, and all I could find is that they are a ration food for the Revolutionary War. I have no idea if that's the fire cakes they were talking about, but that's what I found. A simple salt, water, flour, bread type thing that you just... But yeah, not enjoyable at all. But they were simple, and that's what kept Washington's troops alive.
Cross that Delaware, baby.
Yeah, speaking of Washington Irving wrote about donuts... in his 1809 History of New York, where he described them as balls of sweetened dough, fried in hog's fat and called donuts, or olykoeks, which is just oily cakes. It's just Dutch for oily cakes. I might have mispronounced that, but I did look it up, and that's what it sounded like when I heard the guy say olykoeks. But yeah, that's Dutch for oily cakes. Now, for donut, the... O-nut version, so the way you see Duncan spell it.
Yes.
That came about a century later in a piece of literature known as Peck's Bad Boy and His Pa.
Oh.
Quite the title. By George W. Peck.
Oh.
In 1900. Like I said, it was about a decade later.
Autobiography? Okay.
Yeah, it's a character is said, or says in the piece of literature, says, Paul said he guessed he hadn't got much appetite and he would just drink a cup of coffee and eat a donut.
Hey.
Spelled Donut, the simple way. Author John T. Edge claims the alternative donut spelling was invented in the 1920s. So he doesn't even care about that original. He's just like, no, it was invented in the 1920s. When donut machine makers abbreviated the word to make it more pronounceable by immigrants, and that would help boost their sales.
Ah, okay.
So they took out the busyness of the word donut,
right,
and that would help boost their sales.
Makes
and then
sense,
that spelling, the O-N-U-T version, would show up in the LA Times article in 1929. In 1939, the New York Times covered the World's Fair and used the two spellings interchangeably.
Oh, okay.
But a company that is really given partial credit to the growing popularity of the shortened spelling is Boston's favorite, Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah. So Dunkin' Donuts, they actually changed their name to Dunkin' Donuts in 1950. Before then, they were originally named Open Kettle. We will talk more about Dunkin' Donuts later. Important to note that the shortened donut is actually a rather American thing, based off of what I could find. Apparently, we are the ones that kind of prefer the shortened version, but Dunkin' Donuts is a global brand, so I think it's also catching on elsewhere. And based off of what I found, the donut, and it's always kind of hard to track that, but I did find a couple sources saying that donut, the D-O-N-U-T variety, is surpassed the other version in the States in terms of most commonly used to spell donuts.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And just so everyone knows, unless I was trying to differentiate between the two, in my script, I wrote D-O-N-U-T-S most of the time. So I like the shortened donut.
As do I.
Because to me, it just, it looks better.
It looks better. It still goes. It still flows.
All right, Elle. That was the etymology. Tim. Obviously, they were oily cakes.
Oily cakes.
But, here's the thing about donuts.
What about them, Tim?
They're old.
Yeah?
They're old, man. Donuts are old. Because turns out that humans have been frying doughs for ever.
Yeah, we love that.
Literally,
yes. It's in our
ever
genealogy, in our DNA.
There's evidence of what is believed to be fossilized bits of donuts in prehistoric Native American settlements.
What?
Prehistory shit, man. It's
ingrained in our conscious collective. Yes.
Yeah. In ancient Greece and Rome, we found evidence of frying dough strips that were paired with honey or a fish sauce. Savory and sweet.
Yeah.
In 1485, a cookbook known as Mastery of the Kitchen, published in Nuremberg, had a recipe for stuffed dough cakes. So,
yes.
Is that a donut? Maybe. Maybe not. You decide, listener. I don't know. What am I, a food historian? Where it really starts to pop off for the old donut is the 18th century.
Okay.
All right, let's get there. Because again, it's just there's too much. You know how sometimes we talk about a food and it's like we kind of start way far back. I think burger was a good one where it's like, chopped up meat was a burger technically at one point, but it's just like we didn't really get into burgers until the 1900s.
Right, yeah.
And it's kind of the same with donuts, right? We don't really start to see what
we know as donuts
becomes classified as a donut until what is believed to be 18th century when the Dutch brought over the oily cakes. Now, this is contested. Obviously, it's food history. Most things that we say on this podcast, there's probably a little bit of either uncertainty or some actual contention. And this is one of them. Since fried doughs were so popular throughout history, it's hard for people to give credit to a culture that brought it over. But there's just a lot of through line with Dutch immigrants and donut making. So it seems correct to functionally say that the Dutch brought over their oily cakes, as they were called, to New Amsterdam or modern day New York.
New York.
That's right. It's so old that it wasn't called New York yet. It was called New Amsterdam.
But in New Amsterdam a lot, I feel like.
So that's the thing, is because the actual history of donuts, it kind of starts whenever it got to the States. donuts are kind of an American treat. And I don't say this to nullify the world's history of frying doughs. I literally say this because we are the reason the ring donut specifically is popularized. Like, it happened in America. The States is where the donut really, really took off. And to prove my point, I'm going to keep talking about the history. Yeah. So why America? Who knows? We'll get into it. Hold on to your donuts. So in the 18th century, the Dutch brought over oily cakes. By the mid-19th century, Elizabeth Gregory was the mother of a New England ship captain, Hanson Gregory. She would use her son's spice cargo and fry up some dough with spices and lemon to help ward off scurvy and colds. Remember that was a problem? So it's about to all make sense. Her son, Captain Gregory, takes credit for a specific thing, and that's putting the hole in the donuts.
Okay.
So,
Mr. Gregory.
Let's move on to theories. Some say he made the hole to skimp on ingredients, right?
Oh,
Times
okay.
are tough.
Yeah.
Times are tough. You're a
like
ship
that,
captain. Yeah. The profit margins are lower than the profit margins of a restaurant in today's time. It's just, there's not a lot of money in it, you know?
That's true.
So you punch a hole out and use the dough later. You know what I mean?
Incredible.
And yes, I know modern donuts they don't punch the holes out. They're made with the holes in it. But before that was a thing.
Punch the holes out.
But we punched them. Yeah. Others claim he skewered the donut on one of the spokes of his ship's wheel during a time of choppy waters. That's right. The waters were chopped and screwed, and he had to make a quick action and slapped that donut onto a spoke, and that's what gave it the hole.
That's fun. I like that story. Okay.
But Captain Gregory claims to have used the top of a round tin pepper box. So he just took the top off and made the hole. He punched him out. That's what he claims he did. So.
Okay. I don't like that's not as fun as the steering story.
Yeah. Well, the other theory for why the hole, there's a lot of them. The other theory for why the hole became a part of the donut doesn't really involve Captain Gregory at all. But just that after a while, we started using eggs in the doughs, and that made them denser. So when they cooked, they didn't cook all the way through, along with the fact that we were putting like nuts and shit in them. Right. So like the middle would be stodgy and uncooked. So you would just take the center out and it would cook more evenly. So there you go.
That's probably the more accurate scientific answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Gregory stuck it in the spoke of a wheel.
Ship wheel, for sure.
When his seas were chopped and screwed. Now on to why donuts are American. World War I.
Yeah.
The Salvation Army sent 250 volunteers to France to provide snacks and supplies to the troops.
Bienvenue.
Now, initially, it was going to be baked goods, like pies and cakes. The fuck? But that took a lot of ingredients. You have to, come on. They really thought they were going to do pie.
No,
we talked about the world wars.
Yeah.
Like, the fuck?
It's laughable now. I appreciate
you could barely get a hold of sugar, man. You could barely get a hold of a chicken.
Clearly someone in the corporate made that decision. They haven't set foot on the battlefield. Yeah.
Corporate was fucking up real early. 1900s early. Early 1900s. Corporate meddling in World War I.
Gosh, who would have thought?
So, yeah, not only was the ingredients an issue, when you got close to battlefields, there was a big important thing that pies and cakes require that just weren't on battlefields.
Oh.
Can you guess what that is?
No, I'm kind of, no, I can't really think of anything that would be.
Ovens.
Oh, huh.
Yeah, ovens.
That's
you can't
wild.
Really
what?
Yeah. Trying to bake cakes and pies on the actual front lines ain't happening. Ain't gonna happen. So they switched to donuts, right?
Brilliant.
Donuts are pretty simple. They are a yeasted dough. You can actually make them without eggs if you need to. There are ways to make donuts with fewer ingredients. So they switched to donuts, and even better than that, using lard and fat drippings, you could just fry them in any pot or pan that was deep enough. So you throw the pot and pan over a fire, get the oil hot enough, you just throw the dough in there. There you go. You have donuts.
Boom.
So these women volunteers became known as donut lassies.
Okay. That's my gonna be a Halloween costume.
I think in World War II they were called donut dollies because a similar thing happened. It was slightly different because World War II wasn't as trench war heavy, you know. They took their job seriously, Elle. They weren't fucking around. They would go so far as to serve men donuts even during fire.
What?
That's right.
No.
On the front lines, they would do it during. They would look at them during, and they would get the job done.
That's commitment and dedication.
Right. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah. I can't wrap my mind around that.
Yeah, that's fucking wild. That's insane.
Yeah.
In 1938, the Salvation Army declared the first Friday of June to be National Donut Day as a way to promote their charity work, but also as a nod to the donut lassies.
The lassies.
The second day, because we do have 2 National Donut Days, the second day
naturally
is on November 5th. And is believed to exist because it's close to Veterans Day. We actually don't fully know why the second one exists.
Okay.
But the thought is it's like it's near Veterans Day, and it's a nod to World War I and World War II when that was a thing that happened. After the war ended, what do you think the troops wanted, Elle?
They wanted more donuts, Tim?
They wanted more donuts, dude. We've talked about this a lot, right? A lot of what the troops get overseas ends up coming back, and you usually see some sort of like boom in things, whether that be Coca-Cola, different types of cuisines from different parts of Europe, things like that. You see those booms in the culinary world as that happens, and donuts are no different. Once they came back, all of a sudden people really wanted some fucking donuts.
Delicious.
So,
good choice.
As their popularity grew, the way we made them had to change. What? Insert Adolf Levitt.
Oh.
A Russian refugee. Yeah. Not Hitler.
Oof, yeah. I was going to say, oh no.
Adolf Levitt. A Russian, didn't hate that one guy ruined that name. A Russian refugee who sold donuts out of his bakery in 1920 New York City.
New York City.
New York. New York's popping in this episode.
Yeah.
His shop got so popular, he had to make a machine to help him turn out the volume. He simply couldn't keep up.
We love it.
And so he made a machine. The
innovation.
And from the jump, his machine showed the whole process of the donut making. Just like we were talking with Krispy Kreme, you walk in, you see the whole process, you see the things flip and the oil and the glaze and the whole nine. You see the whole thing. He invented a similar machine, just obviously smaller scale and probably a lot more rudimentary at the time. Not probably, for sure. More rudimentary. Yeah, but it was, it was satisfying. It's satisfying to watch, and it's a delicious fried pastry coming your way. By 1931, Levitt was making $25 million a year.
Oh my gosh.
You heard that right. In 31, he was making $25 million a year selling his machines to bakeries around the country. By 1934, the World's Fair in Chicago, Great American City, had a poster that claimed that donuts were the food hit of the century of progress. That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The donut was popping. It was popping. It was considered the food hit of the century of progress. And to help the donut even further, they cost less than a fucking nickel at the time.
Shut up. No way.
So they were really accessible to even Depression-era citizens. Like, they were so cheap and so accessible.
That's it. That's how you start making the moves.
That's how you make the moves, man. So that's kind of the majority for donuts, right? Like, we've hit the innovation point. From here, donut machines got more sophisticated. By the time they got to the 70s, they had ones that made 800 donuts an hour. Fucking what the fuck? And of course, the innovation around donuts has expanded. Despite the slight popularity dip within the 80s and 90s, donuts are back in full force, baby. We've talked about it. There are tons of specialty donut shops around. You get your glazed, but you also can get your cronuts. You know, you can get whatever you want. So
you can also use them as burger covers.
Yeah, that too. We're putting them on burgers. Also, I've said cronut a lot, and just to like cover my bases here, it's a croissant donut. Croissant. It's where you take croissant and you fry it like a donut, and then if you're some people, you fucking fill that shit with filling.
Oh,
which is, and then you decorate the top. It's what's fucking crazy, dude. I have fever dreams about that food. So I'm not going to end the episode here.
Right.
Let's talk about some successful donut makers. All right, we've been skating around and we talked about Krispy Kreme. But we haven't talked about them. So let's talk about them.
Let's talk about them.
In the 1930s, Ishmael Armstrong. Sorry, I said Ishmael like that. If you listen to the Moby Dick audiobook, that is how he says the name Ishmael. He says Ishmael. Ishmael Armstrong bought a recipe from a man named Joe LeBeau.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Joe
I
LeBeau
love that.
In Paducah, Kentucky.
No.
This country's not real.
What?
I don't think this happened. I think this is fake
Kentucky.
based off the names of places and people. Yeah, so in 1930s, Ishmael Armstrong bought a recipe from Joe LeBeau in Kentucky. Ishmael hired his nephew, Vernon Rudolph.
The red-nosed reindeer?
To help, I'm telling you, these names for this story is fun. To help him sell treats door to door.
Okay.
In 1937,
nice summer job.
Vernon and two friends made their way to Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
I know that place, yeah.
Yeah, with $25, they bought some ingredients from a grocer and baked a fresh batch of what would be called Krispy Kremes.
Oh.
Yep. Initially, they sold them wholesale to grocers, but soon patrons made their way to Vernon's shop because the smells were just too damn good.
Okay, that's
If you've ever been near one hot and ready, you know the feeling.
Yeah. That's fun.
And by the way, that is still how Krispy Kreme operates today.
Yeah, okay.
Their shops make enough donuts to sell to grocers in the area while also allowing people to come and buy donuts in shop. So that is still how they function.
That's
today.
wild. I had no clue. I thought it was the other way around.
Yeah.
You know, your brain gets big enough they want you in the stores like that. But no, that's how they started and they're continuing to. Yeah, that's cool. Okay.
By the 1950s, 29 Krispy Kremes existed in 12 states.
Not bad.
Current day Krispy Kreme makes roughly 1 billion donuts a year in the states alone. B billions.
Oh,
that's a lot of donuts.
That's a lot of donuts.
Until you realize that 10 billion donuts are made in the states a year.
My mouth just dropped. That's absurd.
You can't even fathom that many donuts.
No, we love our donuts, man. Oh my goodness. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a wild amount of donuts. Yeah.
That's Krispy Kreme. Here we go. William Rosenberg had a little restaurant called Open Kettle. Now, if you've been paying attention, class, I've already mentioned that. Open Kettle is what Dunkin' Donuts turned into. Now we're talking about Dunkin' Donuts. William Rosenberg had a little restaurant called Open Kettle in Quincy, Massachusetts. In 1948. Massachusetts. He sold donuts for 5 cents and coffee for 10 cents.
My goodness, what a deal.
What a deal. In 1950, Rosenberg renamed his restaurant to Dunkin' Donuts, baby. Okay. With the goal to expand and make the best donuts the world over. And rumor has it.
Yeah.
That's where Ben Affleck was born.
What?
In a Dunkin'.
In the Dunkin'.
In the 1950 Dunkin'
Matt Damon
Donuts.
Was born in the
Ben
parking
Affleck
lot.
was born. Matt Damon was born in the Dunkin' Donuts. In 1955, the first franchise opened, and within 10 years, the number of Dunkin' Donuts surpassed 100. In 1972, they introduced their donut holes called Munchkins, so that was cool.
So good, yeah.
And now they have over 11,000 locations worldwide, with the hopes to bring even more their goals, they want to get to 18,000.
Oh. We don't need... Why?
I don't know. I'm going to air my griefs here.
Air your grievances.
And you're gonna fucking put up with it, listener.
Dunkin'
Donuts fucking sucks. I said it. Dunkin' Donuts sucks.
I feel like it's problematic when...
Their donuts are ass.
Yeah.
Their donuts suck. They're always stale. I haven't had a good donut from Dunkin' Donuts in ages.
Ages,
if
right.
ever. It's been so long, I don't remember the last time I had a good donut at Dunkin' Donuts. Their coffee is mid.
Well, that's my gripe.
Listen, not only is it mid, I'm talking about just their coffee. Their normal coffee is mid, which is fine because it's cheap. I can handle that. I don't mind that. $2 coffee. I ain't a problem with that. I like that. That's good. However, where you really lose me is their specialty drinks, which are all terrible. They're not mid. Those specialty drinks are bad. They're bad.
So sweet.
They're so bad. They're terrible. They taste terrible. So I'm going to say this right now. The fact that we have 3 Dunkins in just Murfreesboro alone, 3, go fuck yourself. Dunkin',
probably more
go.
on the other side too.
Dunkin', go. Get away. Shut it down. We need 1. All right? You're fucking... They're literally the Subway of coffee joints. They just put up fucking a shop every 2 minutes away from each other, and I don't know. They're fucking siphoning business off of each other. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, so that's my gripe. Fuck Dunkin' Donuts, but cool story, I guess.
Still a story of ingenuity.
Listen, they sure make it look good in every Ben Affleck film and The Sopranos. I'll give them that much. Duncan always looks phenomenal in The Sopranos.
Their breakfast sandwiches are apparently good, but I have not.
No, don't trust anyone who says that. Now, over in the West Coast, we're moving on from Duncan. I'm tired of him. Over in the West Coast, a man named Ted Ngoy came to Southern California in 1975 as a refugee from Cambodia.
Wow, okay.
After trying donuts for the first time, he said they reminded him of Nam Kong, which is a pastry sold on the streets of Cambodia.
Okay.
So he got a job as a trainee at a donut chain called Winchel's. He ended up taking over that shop and bought a second shop called Christie's. He turned Christie's into a successful local chain. He would then lease his acquisitions to other Cambodian refugees looking to start a business.
Okay.
Ngoy sponsored a lot of the refugees personally before setting them up with housing, loans, and their own stores.
Wow.
And by 1985, just 10 years later, Ngoy owned around 60 shops across Southern California.
Wow.
And to this day, many of the independent donut shops are still owned by Cambodian immigrants and their descendants.
Wow,
so
that's cool. Okay.
Is not about a chain, but just about a guy who really helped propel Southern California's donut market.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool. Just a cool little story that isn't focused on just a chain of donut shops.
Donuts specifically, yes.
Very cool. Very cool. Let's discuss some donuts around the world.
Yes.
I said I'd mention it. The ring-shaped donuts are the most common that we see here in the States, and obviously they're very much an American invention. But as I mentioned, Cambodia has Nam Kong. China has a few. One is an oval-shaped pastry that is known as ox tongue pastry due to its shape only. It doesn't have like anything in
I was going to
want a sweet pastry. But it's just its shape. Another is a cream puff donut hybrid known as Sa Jung. And another variant is known as Gaoli Dausha. I'm guessing on that one. And is filled with red bean paste.
Oh, okay.
So they have their own little stuffed pastry.
Yeah.
India, and
Hey-o.
if I mispronounce these, kill me, has an old-fashioned sweet called gulgula, which is a deep-fried flour ball. India also has a pastry known as balushahi and is a dough deep-fried in clarified butter. Love that clarified butter. And dipped in a sugar syrup.
Ah, okay, yeah. Gulab jamun, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indonesia has a donut katang, which is a potato donut.
Oh.
And France has beignets.
Beignets. We love a good beignet.
Yeah, we know what beignets are. Beignets are a pastry made from a deep-fried pâte à choux, and coated in powder sugar. Yeah. That's just a few that I wanted to pick from around the world. There are a ton. Obviously, pretty much every country has their own version. I'm not going to go through all of them. If not their own, like multiple. Like China has a few, and India has a few, and like there's just like, again, deep fried dough is not like a new thing.
Oh man, yeah.
That's pretty much donuts. The other thing I could have gone into is just kind of like different shapes. There's ring donuts, filled donuts, cronuts, eclairs.
Oh my gosh,
there's a lot. There's a lot, guys. It's So instead of going through all that, who cares? That was donuts.
I want to go eat donuts now. Thank you.
Yeah, donuts. Where you at? Where you at, donuts?
Where you at?
Give them to me. Yeah, Elle, where you at with donuts?
Where the donuts in here? Where they at? Where they? I'm bumping this up. It's sound the alarms. I'm getting perfect score. Perfect score.
Food. 11-3. We're at 11,003. Here we go. I'm telling you.
Ring the bell.
We are picking the easy ones. Yeah, I'm with you. Donuts are perfect food. They're incredible.
I didn't realize how American they were. Haha, and that really just...
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually always a little surprised when something is American.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Honestly. Because, like, we're not, like, a super, super old country. So it's just, like... And our big thing is that we are known for, like, a bunch of cultures coming in. And, yes, we put our spin on those things, but, like... no one's confused that pizza isn't American. Yeah, sure. Like, we have our Americanized pizza, but, like, everyone knows. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. But, like, hamburger, technically, like, the actual physical, like, proposition of, like, the hamburger form is technically American, even though, like, there are probably other instances in the world where that happened beforehand. Right. And it's same with donuts, right? It's like... Yeah, like deep fried stuffed pastries that are probably a little sweet. It's like, yeah, it probably happened forever. I like all the world
donuts. Yeah.
Yeah, like probably has happened since the beginning of like, caveman go oonga boonga. Like it's just, which is that's a total like, it's wrong for me to say that. That was not a thing. But either way. I don't want to get into like early human history. It's
fine. No, we're not. Yeah, we're just talking about donuts. Go nuts for donuts.
So we have a segment that we kind of end the show with for this season, and I don't know if Elle's ready for it, but I got mine locked and loaded, baby. This is fucking Wreck My Beehole. Guys, The Bear Season 2 dropped on Hulu, and of course, that is my Wreck My Beehole. Why the fuck? Like... Elle, I finished the goddamn show, and it dropped yesterday. I finished it. I watched all 10 yesterday.
You said I've been distracted. 10. You didn't mention that you crushed out an entire season worth of The Bear. That makes sense, though.
I told you.
Making more sense
told you before we started. I had a long day yesterday. I wake up early anyway. I wake up early no matter what. I woke up at 5. Watched a couple episodes, took Winston to her appointment at the vet, came back, watched a couple more. There's only 10 episodes. Went on a fucking 2-hour hike, came back, ran a couple miles, worked out, worked on the script a little bit, and then I was tired of doing things with my brain. So I said, I'm going to put on The Bear and reschedule our record session. And I stayed up until midnight, finishing The Bear Season 2. I cannot express my love and affection for that show enough. It inspires me to be creative. It is so wonderfully acted, so beautifully put together, and it has such a deep love and respect for restaurant culture, and I am obsessed with it. I strive so hard, and probably fail miraculously with this podcast, at trying to just bring a basic understanding of just how wonderful the systems we have in place truly are, even if they aren't perfect, just how good and how much we should appreciate and respect those things, and restaurants are a part of that. Like, I love restaurants. I work in one. I want to own one day. Like, I am obsessed with it. And The Bear, it's a show that just makes me love it even more, all of it even more. Fuck, that's a good show.
Yes, that's solid. I think that's a good pick. Again, it's a good distraction to have. You're gonna be distracted or something. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
My rec. Yeah, I wasn't prepared, but I would say because I got a little taste of it this past weekend. Just like, going and listening to live music, even if you don't necessarily like the type of music, like if, go listen to some instruments, I should say. It does something for the soul. Yeah. And just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got to see Paramore last weekend, and now it was an incredible experience. But like, I don't know. I just enjoyed being like in the crowd of people, and everyone just was like enjoying themselves, enjoying the music. And I'm like, I miss like just going and listening to instruments. I don't necessarily need to know the people that.
Yeah, what
play.
you described sounds like a nightmare to me. But I'll go listen to like little jam bands at like a brewery or
exactly,
something.
Exactly. Yeah. No, so yeah, it doesn't need to be anything wild like that, or big on scale. But like, just like going to listen to some jam bands, like especially during the summertime.
Yeah.
That's my recommendation. It's a nice like brain
break. That's good, Rick. And that's the end of the podcast. Yeah, you're just hearing music kick in. That's great. That music was Babe My Bee. But to get to that point, I was bouncing ideas off of Austin Martin, and I'm always forever going to plug that guy because he's probably not going to be done helping me with music or just straight up making it for us. So check out Austin Martin under the name Meridian Sky on Spotify and Apple Music. It's great stuff. Enjoy it. Go listen to it and just go support him. Why not? Do it. Do it. You can also, guys, you can support us as well. How can you support us? I don't know. A lot of different ways. Seriously, there are tons of ways to support us. You can go check out our website. We have a website now. It's pretty fucking sick. If you go, you can actually check it. Links in the description. You go there. You can also support us by pressing that actual like Acast Plus support button, and that'll take you. It's $5 a month. You get the episodes a day early, and you also get them ad free if any ads pop up. So that's really cool. The other way you can support us is by commenting, reviewing, just general stuff like that. That actually does really help with the algorithm. So go do that. And if you don't want to do that, I can help you out. You can just like put it on. You can just literally put it on like put it on a loudspeaker. Go break into your local radio station.
Hit the aux cord.
Hook up some. Go click. Hook up some stuff, and then start playing it directly into their systems and broadcast it across the fucking city. Yeah, so go do that. And that's a good, easy, simple, free, cheap way to support us. Won't be cheap after those legal fees, but it'll be worth it. Guys, you can also check us out on Twitter at Where Does Food. That's pretty much just going to be our episode drops whenever we do drop them, because Twitter's the worst. You can also check me out. It fucking sucks. It really sucks now. Can I just say how bad it sucks? It's fucking. It wasn't great before, but it's like way worse now. Like, I've been dancing around it, but it's just bad. Like, it just sucks. Either way. Fuck, it's really shitty though. Like, it's. But you can check me out on Instagram, also a terrible website, at Tim_and_Winston. Instagram also blows fucking hard asses, but you can check me out there. Elle, where can people find you?
They can still find me on the bad place. On Twitter at El Chapo with 3 underscores in between L and Chapo. So there you go.
Awesome. So if you guys are still into wasting your fucking time on social media websites, please hit us up. If you don't want to waste because I truly do recommend like just taking those social media websites and like shitting on them. Like take them off of your phone, put them on like a hard drive and shit on that hard drive.
Oh, that's an idea.
Yeah, that's an idea. Just try it out. No, but if you guys just want to like, you can contact us there, and like I'm sure we get notified for. I know I will get notified for like Twitter, and I'll get notified for my Instagram. But like, if you truly want to, another way to get a hold of us without being on fucking social media is our Gmail. You can actually hit us up. wheredoesfood@gmail.com. So you can hit us up there, send any recommendations, or just to like hate on us or praise us. Either way, you can email us, and that makes life a little bit.
We'll take suggestions and recommendations. Yeah.